Hello everyone and welcome to English 1 lesson descriptions, which will be divided into two parts. First part, classifying and uses, presented by Mrs. KOHIL, an assistant teacher at Higher School of Industrial Technologies, Annaba. Learning objectives of this lesson: equipment vocabulary, device, tool, machine, describing the use or function of a device or an implement, etc. What is this thing? Read these three descriptions. Which one is correct? So in this part, we are going, let's say, to try to identify which of these three statements or descriptions match the picture. So first description: this powerful instrument can locate metal objects that are up to 3 meters underground. When you pull the cord, it generates a magnetic field and picks up a signal from the target objects. Description number 2. This device never needs charging from a mains supply. It enables you to communicate with someone in another building, town, or country. Charge the generator by pulling the cord and you will have power for over 5 minutes of talking. This electronic gadget is an executive toy. It moves up and down along the cord and you can program it to rotate at different speeds and heights. You can even program it to reverse directions. So, in the first description, we have an instrument that can locate metal objects underground. The second one, we have like a chargeless telephone. And in the last part, we have a gadget, which is a toy that you can move up and down along a cord, and you can program it, let's say, with different speeds and heights and different directions. So statement or description, number 2 actually matches the picture. So before us we have a telephone which can, let's say, which does not require a charger, okay, an electric or a main supply charger, and can provide you, let's say, with the ability to phone someone for up to 5 minutes. Note on this device, so this prototype of a ring pull phone was designed by Christopher Young while he was at the University of Berlin. You can see him speaking into its yellow pull-down microphone. So dialing means that you are typing the numbers of your correspondent, let's say when you use your phone. So you can see him speaking into its yellow pull-down microphone. Dialing is done on the yellow keys around the disk's edge. Okay. Also, speaking a name into the microphone causes it to automatically dial the right number from its address book. It never needs charging from a main supply. So pulling the cord a few times charges a generator, which provides power for over 5 minutes of talking. So basically, this is how it works. So you just pull the cord a few times, and your action would, let's say, supply, let's say, the generator with enough power, which will, let's say, convert it into an actual power, which will allow you to, let's say, use this phone, let's say, for a period of 5 minutes. Devices and equipment. So in this section, or in the following also sections, we are going to learn about different subcategories of device, of the word device. So generally, or in general terms, device is an umbrella term, okay? It's a general term that can refer or that can engulf the words a tool, a piece of equipment. For example, a labor-saving device, A security device like an alarm system or an alarm device. But we have a lot of other words for equipment. So the first word that we have here is machine. So what is a machine? So a machine is an equipment with moving parts that works with electricity or a motor. So in other words, that is an electrical, let's say, equipment, or an equipment that, let's say, has moving constituents that are, let's say, dependent on electricity, or we can say an electric-based device, I think, or an electricity-based device. Yeah, this is the right word. So instrument. So done with the machine. Now we move to the instrument. So instrument actually is, let's say, it is equipment, we can say, that is designed, let's say, to perform very delicate, let's say, and precise work, where you need to be exact, like a microscope, for instance. Apart from a machine or, let's say, an instrument, we have an appliance. So an appliance, a machine can also be an appliance because, for instance, in our houses, we have ovens, we have televisions, we have air conditioners. So all of them, they are, let's say, they are dependent on electricity, and we use them at our household. So we call them appliances, like the mixer here and the dishwasher. A gadget. So as opposed, for instance, to an appliance, I mean, in the terms of necessity, I'm not talking about let's say, modernity, but in fact, an appliance, we have very modern and innovative technologies in our houses. So, and we even talk about smart houses in a way. But here I'm talking about, let's say, the necessity. So the need for, let's say, sometimes we need an appliance and we do not need a gadget. So like, in our houses, it is compulsory, for instance, to have a heater, and we, for instance, do not need, let's say, kind of a cleaning robot or a gadget at the kitchen, for instance, that cleans or something like that. So a gadget is modern, not needed, but fun and nice to have. Okay? The last category, we have an implement. Actually, an implement is used outside or inside the kitchen. Like here, we have a potato peeler and we have a spade. I think we call it a spade. So tool. Tool is simple, hand in our hands for making and repairing things, like a screwdriver and the hand saw. So, in what ways you could classify these things? We have 7, let us call them things, equipment, or devices, as let's say, as in the general meaning. We have a washing machine. So, look at the example here. We say, washing machine, it's a machine or an appliance. So it's a machine in the sense that it runs on electricity, and it's an appliance in the sense that we use it and we need it in our houses, or in our household. So what about a hammer? Le marteau. So the hammer is a tool. So let us take a look at a tool. It is simple, hand in our hands for making and repairing things. So let us look at a motorized cup that stirs your tea or coffee for you. So we have kind of a cup that stirs your tea for you. Here it is a gadget. We do not need it. It is modern, it is fun, it is extra, but not a necessity to, let's say, acquire it. So a vacuum cleaner or a vacuum cleaner is, let me use the word device, that we use to, let's say, clean surfaces or nooks and crannies in the household, let's say, to remove we have different categories of vacuum cleaner. I'm not going to talk about their specifications, but to put it in simple words, to remove dust. So we find it in the household, and it is a machine because it runs on electricity, and we can call it also an appliance. A compass. So compass is a very delicate, let's say, device that gives you precise data on, let's say, directions, etc., etc. So a compass is an instrument. A garden spade. It is not a space, it is a garden spade used to turn, let's say, over, or to turn over the dirt or in your garden, which is soil in a way, not dirt only. So it is an implement. A computer. A computer is a machine or an appliance. So now we move to uses. So in this section we are going to learn about language, vocabulary used to express the function of a device. So think of some tools or devices you use. Discuss why they are useful with a partner. Since I cannot provide a partner to discuss with, I'm just going to talk about very simple, let's say, used on daily basis, frequent device, which is the computer. Okay, so the computer, we can call it a machine, yeah. So I use it for, let's say, storing my files, watch sometimes, let's say, movies in a more, let's say, large sense, write my thesis, and doing some calculations using the Microsoft package, etc., etc. Reading. So now read the advertisements and match the objects with their description. So we have 4 advertisements that each refers to a specific picture. Okay? So for instance, the first advertisement reads, I use the X-beam wrench for loosening tight and rusty old bolts without hurting your hand. Sorry, use the X-beam wrench, not I use. This is number 1. So, or I can say, I use the X-beam wrench for loosening tight and rusty old bolts without hurting my hand. So the ends are at 90 degrees to each other. So you always grip a wide, flat surface, not a narrow edge. So here we are talking about a tool. And in fact, here we are, let's say, referring to picture C, the X-beam wrench. So we move to advertisement number 2. What do you do if your car battery goes flat in a storm and you don't have jump leads or roadside assistance? The Black & Decker Simple Start allows you to start your car without getting wet. It plugs into the 12-volt socket in your car, and it's designed to restart your car in 10 minutes. So here we are talking about the generator kind of that restarts your car when your battery goes off or goes flat. And in fact, the name is already stated or is apparent on the device, and we are talking about the Black & Decker, and it matches picture A. Third statement. This is designed to jump, dive, roll, and move over and underwater at 30 miles per hour using a 175 horsepower engine. In a Space Sea Breacher is a 2-seat, 5-meter long underwater vehicle shaped like a dolphin. It acts as a jet ski and as a fast submarine. So it is obvious, and we are talking about the illustration in picture D. Have you forgotten where you put your keys? Use this smart device to find them. Simply attach the electronic tag to your keys, then if you can't find them later, switch on locator and it will point in the right direction or direction. Not only left or right, but up or down too. It will show you where your keys are. At the same time, the tag on your keys will emit a beeping sound. So here we are talking about a locator that helps you localize or find your missing keys. And we are talking about the device illustrated in picture B. So, discuss the objects in two with a partner. What do you think of them? Are they useful for you? So, as stated in the Google meeting or the Google Meet teleconference arranged with my students, I spoke about the locator, which I found very useful, especially for persons who are forgetful or persons who are sometimes clumsy regarding, let's say, remembering the location of their keys. Listening. So, listen to these inventors answering questions about their inventions. Identify the inventions. So let us listen together, and I think it is quite easy, let's say, to identify which invention the speaker or the inventor is talking about.
Unit 5. Descriptions. Recording 13. A.
So tell me about your invention. What's it for?
It's for finding lost items.
B.
OK, and what about this device? What's it used for?
It's used for charging a flat battery from inside the car.
C.
Tell me about this invention. What can it be used for?
You can use it to move quickly over and under water.
So invention number 1, let us listen again.
Unit 5. Descriptions. Recording 13. A.
So tell me about your invention. What's it for?
It's for finding lost items.
B.
OK.
So this device the inventor is talking about is designed, let's say, to find lost items. And here we are talking about the locator in the last advertisement, stated in the last advertisement. Let us carry on.
And what about this device? What's it used for?
It's used for charging a flat battery from inside the car.
So here the speaker or the inventor is speaking about, obviously, the Black & A Decker in advertisement number 2.
C.
Tell me about this invention. What can it be used for?
You can use it to move quickly over and under water.
So obviously we are talking here about the inner sea breacher, which is described in advertisement number 3. Listen again and complete the dialogue. So here we are trying to identify the responses and the language or the vocabulary used to describe the function of the device. For instance, here we ask this question: what is it for? So here we are inquiring about its use or its function.
Unit 5. Descriptions. Recording 13. A.
So tell me about your invention. What's it for?
It's for finding lost items.
B.
OK, and what about this device? What's it used for?
It's used for charging a flat battery from inside the car.
C.
Tell me about this invention. What can it be used for?
You can use it to move quickly over and under water.
Okay, so let us listen again, and then with each response I will pause and explain. So for instance, the question number 1, it says, so tell me about your invention. What is it for?
Unit 5. Descriptions. Recording 13. A.
So tell me about your invention. What's it for?
It's for finding lost items.
So, what is this invention for? And he says it is for finding lost items. It is for, what is it for? It is for finding lost items. Second question. Okay, and what about this device? What is it used for? What is its use? What is it used for?
B.
Okay, and what about this device? What's it used for?
It's used for charging a flat battery from inside the car.
So, what is it used for? And he says it is used for charging a flat battery from inside the car. So the question is, what is it used for? And the answer is, it is used for this and that. So last, let's say, last pair of sentences or statements.
C.
Tell me about this invention. What can it be used for?
You can use it to move quickly over and under water.
So he says, you can use it to move quickly over and under water. So question number 1, what is it for? We answer it, it is for this and that. The second, let's say, means of inquiring about the use of a device, we say simply, what is it used for? The answer could be or is, it is used for. And the last way, what can it be used for? And we answer using the same model of ability. You can use it to move quickly over and under water. The language spot here describing uses and functions. So, the first, let's say, or the primary way we can describe, let's say, the function or the use of a given device is by simply using the present simple. Like, what does this carburetor do? The answer, it mixes air and petrol. So here we are simply using the present simple tense. The second way, for plus a verb plus ing. Okay, so what is this tool for? And here we will use a gerund. It is for hammering, so a verb plus an ing, to hammer. It is for hammering in nails. Another example. What is this machine used for? It is used for producing drinking water. Another way, to plus verb. So you use this machine to charge. Okay, so to charge here implies or provide or hints or gives us information about the function of this machine. Or we can say, this device is designed to find lost objects. Sorry for the recurrent spelling mistakes in the lesson. I will correct them as soon as I finish recording this lesson. So act as plus a noun. So the fan of a hovercraft, or we can say helicopter. So the fan of a hovercraft acts as a propeller. So here acts as provides the, let's say, the information or implies that we are discussing or referring to the function of the fan in the hovercraft. So now we move to a quick review of vocabulary in which we are going to look at, let's say, agent nouns. So many nouns end in ER or OR. And these are often agent nouns. An agent noun shows the person or the thing that does an action. Okay? Like we say in case of persons, the doer. Okay? So, a calculator, which is a noun, is a machine. It calculates sums. So, it calculates sums here. It calculates here is a verb. And the noun is a calculator. So these changes of spelling when you add ER or OR. So double the final consonant after a short vowel. An example, propel, we double the last L, propeller. Delete the final E, example, receive, receiver. Okay? So find the agent nouns for the verbs in the box. And you should use dictionary if necessary. So as I explained already or earlier, calculate, the agent noun is simply calculator. Conduct, the agent noun is conductor. Contain, the agent noun is container. Generate, the agent noun is generator. Receive, the agent noun is receiver. Stabilize, it could be written with an S or a Z. So stabilize, the agent noun is stabilizer. Transmit, the agent noun is transmitter. So actually these, they do not, let's say, conform, or we do not have a set of words that end in an ER or an OR, which are agent nouns, but we learn them, let's say, via recurrent practice. So I will stop here because as the title suggests, it's part 1, and in part 2 we are going to carry on with the uses or expressions of uses and expressing the purpose. Okay, so that was it for today. I hope I delivered the lesson well. If you require any assistance, any explanation, you can email me, or you can head to Moodle platform wherein you could find an abundance of explanations and a set of lessons that we teach in Module English 1.